writing the equation of a graph. And then I'll talk about some things that might be causing you to get it wrong on Khan Academy, just some little pieces, because I'm pretty sure you guys know how to do this. It's just you're making small little mistakes that I'm going to try to address in this video. So just a reminder, our formula is that y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope, which we find by doing the rise over the run. And then the b is your y-intercept, and that's where the line crosses the y-axis. So those are the two pieces that we have to find out of each graph. So let's do this one. With this one, remember that in order to find, so we're going to look at y equals mx plus b. So I need to find first my slope. Remember, slope is rise over run. So to do that, first I have to put my two dots. Remember, these are all the options for dots. Oh, there's one there. Notice I can't put a dot here because it's not in the middle of one of those grid lines. Now, something that will help you, so a strategy, is to choose two dots to do your triangle that are right next to each other. If you do a dot here and here, you're going to end up with a fraction that you have to simplify, and it's just easier to choose a dot that's close to each other. So we can choose any of these dots because we'll get the same answer. So for example, if I choose these two dots, I'll do my rise over my run. Remember, rise is 1, and I count it like this, 1, and then run is 1, 2. Don't use dots to count because I find that sometimes that leads to mistakes. This is really the best way to help you to count, doing these little hoop things. Now notice if I was to have chosen these dots, it's still 1 over 2. Down here it would be 1 over 2, 1 over 2. So it doesn't matter which dots that you choose. Remember too, on Khan Academy, you can write on the screen. So I would do your work on there and draw your triangle. So here, remember, it's rise over run. So my rise was 1 and my run was 2. So my slope is 1/2. Now for the y-intercept, I'm just going to use a different color to make it obvious what I'm doing. My y-intercept, we're going to do it in blue. And so that's just where, remember what we said? It's where the line crosses the y-axis. Make sure you're looking at the y. So again, your y is this axis right here. So we just look down, and wherever it crosses, so wherever this line crosses, it would be your y-intercept, and in this case, it would be -2. So we would just write -2, let's see. Perfect. And then we add in the rest. So we add in the y equals x and then -2. So again, with this, make sure you don't forget the y equals or the x or any of the pieces of the equation. It should look just like this. So a couple things that could be throwing you off on Khan Academy. Sometimes if your slope is -3 over 1, in Desmos it works fine to write that, but it's not the most simplest form, and so Khan Academy is going to mark it wrong because we have to get in the habit of simplifying everything as much as we can. So a better way to write this would just be -3. And be careful too, what I've noticed a lot of people are making mistakes on is just remembering that if it is a decreasing graph, you're going to have a negative slope. And that if it is the increasing graph, this is where you would have the positive slope. So just make sure you have both of those two, that you're aware of that and thinking about it. And then again, if you get an answer like -2 over 4, remember you have to simplify that fraction. So that would become -1/2. And again, Khan Academy will mark that wrong, where you have the general idea. It's just important that you start to simplify.